Hello and welcome. I just come back from the gym, so I thought let me do two exam questions for you, two A-level exam questions, and the topic is going to be on coordinate geometry. So let's jump right in. The first question, modeling with straight lines. The cost of electricity, E in pounds, and the number of kilowatts hour are shown in the table. Kilowatts hour, cost of electricity. So when it's 0 kilowatts hour, you pay 45 pounds. Draw a graph of the data. Two ways you can do this first part. You can use your graphics calculator, put those numbers in the table, which I'll show you, and draw the graph. Or you can work out the numbers and the scale, and then you draw it on a graph paper. And I'll show you what to do on that one first. So on your graph paper, you will mark the point 0, 45. So that's the first point there. It crosses the y-axis, 0, 45. The next point is 15. That's 15 there, and then 46.5, which is there. The next point is 40 and 48.5. Some people call it 4E. 4E and 49.8 is 4E and 49.8. The next one is 60 and 52.2, and then 80, and then the last one. It's quite tricky to mark this point because they are very close together. So it's very tricky to mark it. So you have to really be careful when you mark the points. And then after that, you draw a straight line. In the exams, you must have marked all of these points and draw a straight line to get that 3 marks. Don't just mark 2 points. You won't get the 3 marks. That's one of the things when I mark the exams. You have to mark all the points to get the 3 marks, and it has to be a straight line. And then part B, explain how you know a linear model will be appropriate. How do you know a linear model is appropriate? Part B is straightforward. The points all lie on a straight line. So that's why it's a linear. Linear means straight line. For those who have the graphics calculator, you enter the values in the list 1, enter the other one in list 2, and you tell graph 1, you plot the graph, and that's what it shows, a straight line graph. So your graphics calculator will plot it for you, and then it will do the calculations for you as well. That's one advantage. Let's read part C. Deduce an equation in the form E is equals to AH plus B, and that's a 2 mark for part C. So to get that equation without a calculator, without a graphics calculator, you need to calculate the gradient. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So you go onto the graph, you do a triangle, and you can see a triangle there on the graph. The Y2 minus Y1 is 13.2, and the X2 minus X1 is 110. So your gradient will be 0.12. And then you want to find the intercept on the y-axis. You look at it, it's 45. So your gradient M is 0.12. Your intercept is 45. But they have called it A and B. So you write it as E is equal to 0.12 is the gradient, H is the kilowatt hour, and 45 is the intercept. And that's the equation they want you to get. Your calculator will give you the answer for that equation. And I'll show you now how to do that with a calculator. When you go to your calculator, you would just press calculate. And then it would give you A is 0.12, B is 45. And that graph is in the form Y equals to AX plus B. So A is that 0.12, B is the 45. And that's it. That's how quick you get it with a calculator. You don't have to draw no triangle on the graph. Now for part D and part E. Part D says interpret the meaning of the coefficients A and B for 2 marks and use the model to find the cost of 65 kilowatt hours. So let's go and do that now. The 0.12, which is the gradient, is the cost of 1 kilowatt of electricity. because the y-axis is, it gives you the cost and then the kilowatt hour on the x-axis. So the cost for 1 kilowatt hour of electricity. And what does the 45 pounds mean? The 45 pounds is a fixed charge for the electricity. So for those of you who pay electricity bill, you can pay monthly. That means every month you pay your bill. Or some people pay quarterly. And those who are super rich can pay yearly. And that means it's the fixed charge. And this fixed charge comes from the electricity board. They decide a fixed charge of 45 pounds. And you can do nothing about that. Part E, we use that equation that we found, substitute the value 65 for the kilowatt hour, and you work out that it will be 52 pounds 80. So the total mark for this question is 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2, 6, plus 2, 8, plus 1, 9. So this question is 9 marks. So on each section, you can see the breakdown of the marks. So roughly, I would say 9 minutes, or if you, because of the graphs and things like that, you might take 10, 12 minutes. And that gives you a complete answer for that question. So I hope that helps. And I'll see you for the next question.